Hello everyone, and welcome to my second video of making fun things during quarantine. I was looking around for a good recipe to make, and I wanted to make cookies, but I wanted to make something a little bit more exciting. So I was thinking back to the one time Nathan and I went to Milk Bar. If you don't know what Milk Bar is, there is a whole Chef's Table episode on Netflix about it. Probably the best one in the series because it's all about sugary treats, which is my favorite. This woman, Christina Tosi, started this bakery that has cakes and cookies and all this delicious soft serve ice cream, and the one thing we didn't get was the compost cookie, and ever since then I kind of regret it. However, she does have the recipe on her website, so I'm gonna try to make it today. It's a little complex and has a couple of random items you wouldn't really find at the grocery store, so I'm gonna try a couple of budget-friendly modifications, but I think it'll be okay, and that way maybe you can make it too. The point of the compost cookie is to make it sound like a bunch of random items, so it's got potato chips, pretzels, rolled oats, graham cracker, and then chocolate chips and butterscotch chips, so kind of a conglomerate that makes it look like a garbage pail of cookie dough. The first thing that you need is the graham cracker crust that she has a specific recipe for, which is a little annoying, but that's okay. It doesn't look too hard. You're just combining a lot of crushed graham cracker with a lot of simple things in your pantry, so I'll show you how that's done. You need about a cup and a half of graham crackers crushed up, so I just stuck it in a bag, smashed it up with the butt of a knife, and there you go. You got about a cup and a half to work with there. I'm gonna take my graham cracker crust, about a cup and a half, like I said, and just put it in a bowl, and I'm gonna mix it with 2 tablespoons granulated sugar right in there as well. And then this is about 3-4 teaspoons of salt, just to combine with that as well. And I'm just gonna stir that up. It's probably good. Take your 4 tablespoons of butter, and I'm gonna mix in about a 1/4 cup of heavy cream and just mix that together. Then I'm gonna put the wet ingredients into the dry. According to the recipe, as long as the mixture can hold its shape, kind of like brown sugar, it should be good to go. And it feels pretty firm, like you could pack it like wet sand, so I think it's done. So we're gonna set that aside and get started with the actual cookie mixture. I could eat this for dinner. So good. Alongside of our delicious crust, we are using pretzels and chips. I just got these regular standard kettle cooked potato chips. Didn't specify what kind, so I'm rolling with that. Some plain rolled oats. I got both the chocolate chip and butterscotch chips here. One other modification I'm making is using this honey instead of glucose. Glucose is kind of weird. I've heard of people using corn syrup, but not glucose. I'm not about to buy that for this one recipe. And then I'm going to sacrifice one of my French roast coffee K-cups because I don't have loose coffee. To start off the cookie batter, we're gonna mix together 2 warm butter sticks. This is about 16 tablespoons of butter. We're gonna put it in the bowl with both the brown sugar and the granulated sugar, and then 2 tablespoons of our glucose, which is actually just honey, and I think that should be fine. We'll see if it works. Now I'm gonna beat this all together. You're supposed to use a KitchenAid with that like dough paddle, but I'm gonna use my nice little mixer and just hope for the best. Mixture should look like it's nice and creamy. Now all I'm gonna do is add 1 egg and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and then we're gonna beat it for 7 to 8 minutes, so lucky me, I have to stand here. It's been about 7-ish minutes. It was a lot of work holding it, but it's now a very firm consistency. Ready to add our flour, and then 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, and then a full teaspoon of salt is gonna go in the bowl, and then we're gonna beat it for about 1 minute. This is the fun part where we get to add all of the goodies and make it the compost cookie. So I'm gonna add the chocolate chips and the pretzels, and then the best part is the chips, which I'm really excited about because I think that'll be really good. Okay, so the chocolate chips are in here too. I just piled them on because I was being lazy, but it's like about a half cup of chocolate chip, and then I did a little bit more of the butterscotch because I like butterscotch. I think it melts really nicely. Half a cup of oats. It only asks for 1/4 of the graham cracker recipe, so I guess Nathan's gonna eat the rest, but you only need half a cup of the graham cracker. And then 2.5 teaspoons of coffee grounds. Now, if you have an actual mixer, you can paddle this all together, but that's gonna absolutely make my mixer explode. So I'm just gonna stir it together with a spatula. Man, she's so thick. Final step is to just include about a cup of pretzels and then about 2 cups of potato chips. Now we mix it up really carefully, and not to make sure that we absolutely destroy all the potato chips, but just so that they're in a little bit better bite-sized pieces. So this is what the batter looks like when it's ready. It's super thick, it's huge, it's got all kinds of stuff in it, but it tastes really good. The coffee definitely is a must. You can really taste it bringing out all the flavors. And then we'll be ready to put them into little cookie balls and pop them in the fridge where they have to freeze up for about an hour. Okay, you guys, look at these cute little cookie balls, but they're looking great. Apparently this is really important or else they won't bake well, so I'm not gonna mess with that. It's said to put them on like an airtight container and wrap them with saran wrap. Unfortunately, I don't have that. I just put them on these cookie sheets for now, and then we'll put it on a less crowded one when I bake them, but we're gonna pop them in and I'll be back later.
A few moments later.
Okay, so it's been about an hour, and when I took them out, I transferred them onto the bigger baking sheets and I smashed them down a little bit so that they actually are flatter cookies. You're supposed to use parchment paper. We don't have parchment paper, so I just ran some butter all over the foil. I've tried that before. It usually helps to keep things from not sticking. I made about 16 cookies, and we're gonna bake them at 375 for about 18 minutes. It said it's gonna be brown on the outside and still yellow in the middle. So we're gonna pop them in the oven, and then we'll be back in 18. It's been 18 minutes, and I'm gonna check on them. They've expanded a lot. They're looking brown around the rim, like she said. I'm gonna let these cool, and then we're gonna try one. They look really good, and I'm excited. They look really good, so we're gonna have Nathan try it out for us.
All right, first impressions. Woo! There's a lot of flavors, lots of crunch. I love crunch. There's a lot of coffee flavors. That's not my favorite thing in the world, but I would say that with the butterscotch chips and the like graham cracker crusty things that you made at the beginning, those flavors are probably my favorite. I love the potato chips and the pretzels. I would say that the coffee was too much for me though.
All right.
But that's my review. 9 out of 10. I like the potato chips too. They don't really come through as much, but
I like it. Coffee's definitely a very present flavor.
yeah, it's a little too much for me.
But I like coffee, so yeah. I will say my lower shelf of cookies didn't flatten out, and they are a little bit crisp on the bottom. Next time I'll just bulk up, bake them one tray at a time. Top tray's better.
Yeah. All right, well.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Are you running the show? Nathan's done. Try this recipe if you want. It's on the Milk Bar website. Have a great night.
Bye.